David Cameron has expressed his exasperation with yet another legal block on attempts to deport the radical cleric Abu Qatada to Jordan. Completely fed up was the expression the PM used. The Muslim preacher is now back at home in London tonight, tagged and under a 16-hour curfew after being released from prison. Meanwhile, Channel 4 News has learned that Home Office officials are back in Jordan trying to find another way around the latest legal impasse. Here's our Home Affairs correspondent, Simon Israel.
It's becoming a familiar route for the religious scholar. Just after 11 this morning, Abu Qatada was driven out of Long Lartin prison for his first taste of renewed freedom. He's viewed by MI5 as a leading spiritual advisor providing religious cover to extremists, a fundraiser for terrorist groups, and whose influence extends way beyond UK shores and even beyond Europe. But this officially designated threat to national security returned to his family today because a court ruled he cannot be deported to Jordan to face a retrial. The use of torture lurks behind some of the evidence. This may well turn out to be just a temporary address now for Abu Qatada and his family. The intense publicity which follows the radical preacher has persuaded the Home Office to find an alternative and secret address in the coming days. But while he's here, his bail conditions allow him 8 hours when he can come and go as he pleases, but under the constant, watchful eye of a police presence. The stringent bail conditions set today by the Special Immigrations Appeals Commission include Qatada must wear a GPS tag at all times. He can only leave the house between the hours of 8 AM and 4 PM, and he is prohibited from riding or even entering a motorised vehicle. The government has begun planning its appeal. Home Office officials are already in Jordan discussing yet again ways around a European court ruling that's being blamed for derailing all efforts to deport the cleric.
I am completely fed up with the fact that this man is still at large in our country. He has no right to be there. We believe he's a threat to our country. We have moved heaven and earth to try and comply with every single dot and comma of every single convention to get him out of our country, and it's extremely frustrating.
That frustration may go on for months, if not years. Yesterday's judgment made clear that to ensure Abu Qatada faces a fair trial, either Jordan's criminal procedures have to change or the prosecution has to prove that the statements were not procured by torture.
Although the government lost this case, it seems to me they won a great deal of it. And the tribunal has basically said that if there is one more change to the Jordanian criminal code, then this man can lawfully be deported to Jordan. Now, how likely that is to happen, I don't know. What I can say is that there are Home Office officials at the moment in Jordan working on this with the Jordanian government. I also believe the King of Jordan is coming over to London next week.
As long as there is the threat of deportation, then Abu Qatada's activities can be severely curtailed. But if the government fail in its appeal, it will have to resort to its revised brand of the old control order. But that only has a 2-year shelf life.